Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 doo. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. And happy Life Day to those who celebrate. As you know, Chewbacca. If you've ever seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, Chewbacca's trying to get home to his family to celebrate the holiday of Life Day. Has anybody seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? Show of hands. Yeah, it actually is one of the worst things I have ever seen. But I do think they should create a toy line of all of the characters in there. They have like, some cool cameos in there. Like I think B. Arthur's in it, if I remember right. Jefferson Starship, maybe. If those were to turn into toys, maybe they have been. I don't know. If they were turned into toys, I think that would be cool. Yeah, like they're like holding this orb. I know that's like a part of it. This is like a Paw Patrol toy, but it kind of makes me, think of what it's like. Happy Life Day, everybody. To all those that celebrate. Yeah, so one of the best, if you have seen it, my favorite part about it is when Han Solo, he's trying to get Chewbacca home to Kashyyyk for Life Day, and he has this line that's basically like, I'm gonna botch it because me and a friend of mine, we watched it together. He found a copy of it, and then we watched it, and we were just like cracking up at this one line, and we've like blown it out of proportion, but it's basically like Han Solo, Harrison Ford, is trying to get Chewbacca home, and he's like, they get into some trouble, and Han Solo's basically like, why do I always think it's gonna be easy getting you home to Kashyyyk for your old holiday Life Day or something like that. I don't know, we would always like extend it and make it strange, but it's just funny that every single year that Han Solo tries to get Chewbacca back home, there's always something that happens, and I don't know, just the way the line was delivered, it was incredibly ridiculous. Like some awful dialogue for, even Star Wars. Also, was it Grand Moff Tarkin? Is he in it? I think so. And I believe he calls, is it him? Maybe not. Somebody calls Kashyyyk, which is where they live, they call it Kashyyyk, which is funny. Also, I should have wore this. I also have, so the holiday special is also the first appearance of Boba Fett, and I do have a t-shirt of Boba Fett from that appearance, and he's on this planet that's like made out of jello, and it's really cool. It's like a gelatin planet, which is something I've always loved about Star Wars, is the locations, the different planets, how disparate they are from one another, how the landscapes are just total contrast from one another as you go. They're very creative. They're all very different. Like it's been some time since I was like really deep into Star Wars, but you have desert planets, you have snow planets, you have water planets, you have flower planets, and this one was basically a jello planet, which was really awesome. And it was animated, that segment was, and that's kind of how that holiday special was. It was very like variety showish in a way. It had animated segments, it had musical segments, just like Wookiee segments where they're just talking in their language. Wait, did I say this already? Instead of Kashyyyk, they called it Kashyyyk. I think that's where I was going with that. I don't even know if I finished that point. And I was thinking it was Grand Moff Tarkin that said it, but I don't know. But anyway, the planet that Chewbacca is from is called Kashyyyk, but in the show they call it Kashyyyk. But if you read it, it's clearly spelled, well, it's very oddly spelled, but spelled in a way that would make you think it's read as Kashyyyk. It was like 3 Y's in a row or something like that. And also, how does Chewbacca even say Kashyyyk? We say Kashyyyk, but how does he say it in his language? Because I can't imagine those sounds coming out of Chewbacca's mouth. I just wanted to, I don't know, talk about Star Wars a little bit today, talk about my experience of watching the holiday special, which I've only seen the one time, and that was probably back in, I don't know, oh 07 maybe, something like that, 2007. Just going to show you some Star Wars stuff that I have directly near me. I have this Darth Vader mug that I got for either my birthday or Christmas, which are so close to one another I can never remember what gifts I get for which day. But I remember my brother got this for me. It's a mug. It's so big that it almost feels more like a planter. Like, this is huge. Big old mug of Darth Vader, which I think is awesome. What else do I got? I got a lot of Star Wars mugs, actually. Oh, that's not. This is Rick's Restorations. Do you remember that show? It was like, if you ever watched Pawn Stars or Count's Customs, this was another one of those Rick's Restorations. One of those Vegas shows. It was, you know, they all were kind of connected a little bit. Went to his shop, bought that there. The mug didn't survive the plane trip home. See how there's a crack in it? You probably can't see, but I had to glue that back together. But anyway, here's a Star Wars mug. And funnily enough, it has Boba Fett on it. But again, the first appearance of Boba Fett, he is animated right there. Isn't it cool that he came from that awful product of the Star Wars Holiday Special and then just became an icon, a favorite? I almost feel like the show, Book of Boba Fett or whatever it was called, kind of like killed a lot of the interest in him, the popularity in Boba Fett. I don't know how many people are still like, yeah, Boba Fett, like they used to be. But maybe they are. So this here is a robe, a traditional garment worn on Life Day. They don't always have the words Life Day on them, especially written in English like that. But I got this for Christmas. You can get them at Disney World. I think they make new ones every year. This is the very first time they ever made them, so this is a first edition. But with each year, they change the font a little bit, and I'm glad I got this font because I think last year the font was like Jester or Joker, you know? Have you ever heard Jester font, you know, like on old Microsoft Word? It was something similar to that. But yeah, I got this one. This is the first edition, if I am right. Maybe it's the second. I think it's the first one, though. I think it's the first edition. It's just a long robe, kind of like a Snuggie that you wear. Like this. It's very long, basically a blanket. It's open in the back. It doesn't tie. So since it doesn't tie, you're constantly doing this if you're wearing it around the house, which you really don't want to do. It's more, treat it like a blanket. You know, you can still text on your phone, type on your laptop, and things like that. Also, this was in reaching distance here, Star Wars Trilogy. Also comes with a bonus material disc. I'm sure a lot of people had this. My aunt had the VHS trilogy. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was the one right before the prequels came out. Was he talking about the prequels? I don't know, but it had some fun bonus features on it. How would I rank these? To me, actually, I like them in the order that they're made. I like A New Hope best, then Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi. But here's the thing, like Return of the Jedi, even though it's like third, it has, I think, some of the best moments. So it's one of those things where, kind of like, I always say this about Spider-Man 3 also. Spider-Man 3, I recognize is not as good as the other two, but some of my favorite moments of the three films are in Spider-Man 3, especially the stuff between Harry and Peter. And that's sort of how I feel about this. It has a lot of stuff I don't care for, but I did when I was a kid, like the Ewoks. I just, you know, I don't know. I'm less interested in them. But what I love is everything with the Emperor at the end, and Vader and Luke, and all of that is so dark, and oh, it's so good. All of that is so good and emotional, and it ends so well. And so even though that's my third favorite of the trilogy, it has some of the best moments in it. But yeah, I actually love them in the order in which they were made. But then if we start including other films from the prequels and the sequels and spin-offs, then things change a little bit, because I really do like Rogue One, I like Solo, I like Episode 1, and the I mean, I'm one of the few people that like the Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, I do. And I think it's because the Emperor, honestly, even though maybe that's like just so dumb that he came back. I don't know. I like how dark and gross and scary he is, and the end is, and everything looks. I like all of that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk about Star Wars today because it's Life Day, and I was just curious how many of you celebrate. What I'd love to do someday is go to Disney World on Life Day because, you know, if you go to Hollywood Studios at Disney World, or, you know, Disneyland, whatever, you have that Star Wars section. And I think what they need to start doing is putting a Life Day parade. Um, a Life Day parade uh, that goes through there. And you know, they already have Jollywood Nights. They need to like pair it, put them together. Jollywood Nights and Life Day going on at the same time. Utilize that space over in Star Wars. Uh, Create a little cavalcade parade for Life Day where everybody's wearing these. Come on, people would buy these more than they already are. I have one, and more people would buy them. Maybe make them thinner weight because this is kind of like a fleece sort of thing. In Florida in November, I mean, it's always hot in Florida. You won't want to be wearing this, but maybe if you got something a little thinner or a shirt, something like that, I think it would be awesome. Anyway, I don't know. Have you seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? If so, what do you think of it? I'd love to know. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. And if you like it, I feel like you're, you know, a contrarian. You're trying to be controversial. You're trying to be edgy. Things like that. But anyway, Star Wars is cool. I'm not as into it as I used to be, unfortunately. It's just too much stuff anymore. I can't keep up. That's the problem. Otherwise, you know, if I was younger, maybe I'd still be into it. I just think I don't got the time. I don't got the time. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Star Wars? Happy Life Day to you. And perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.